Welcome to the 22nd Vegan Convergence of the Peoples, Thriving on Planet B. I'm Rebecca B.J. Allen, and a climate healer that's happy to introduce to you another climate healer. Give a big welcome to Paige Parsons Roache. She's a certified climate healer, a fierce voice for the planet, animals, and social justice, along with being a producer of events, educator, and public speaker. Paige is a campaigner for the Plant-Based Treaty and a lifelong advocate turning compassion into action. Her title of her talk is Plants, Purpose, and Planet, a journey of fierce compassion with Paige Parsons Roache. Welcome, Paige.
Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca, look at this. Hey,
Yes,
everyone. I
yes,
found
I
my shirt
love it.
from the very first Convergence of the People, y'all, in 2026, Vegan World. And now check this out. Prevent Year Zero.
Yes.
I wanted to bring us back to 2018 and start from there. So, hi, everyone. Welcome to VCOP-22. If you're just joining, if you're in the room, it's wonderful to be here with you. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you so much. And just so you know, when we were in a lockdown, we brought these convergences to a virtual experience so more people could enjoy it around the world safely. And we actually have an upcoming conference in Toronto, and our last October, we had one in person as well. But back to 2018, and 3 years before, when I went vegan, um, I found out about what goes on behind the closed doors to get food on our plate, and I was shocked. I did not know any of this, and once I started to learn more, I said, "Oh my goodness, I really need to get active." So, this conversation is an opportunity for those of you out there to get active in whatever way in the kitchen, in whatever skill set that you already have. And let's hone in on those. We have people who are producing movies and other content. We have book writers. We have spiritual leaders who are bringing plant-based food to their congregations. So, this is an opportunity for those of you, but also to learn a few things because I am an expert composter. So I did want to say that too. That's going to be included here. Let me take us to the plant-based treaty real quickly because so many people don't know what this is. And we're actually going to look at a little bit later, a little more detailed, but I wanted you to know that you can all endorse the plant-based treaty by going online to plantbasedtreaty.org, and you can scroll down on the front page and it'll say endorse as an individual or endorse as an organization or as a business or a city. So many opportunities. So it's a public information campaign. That's what we're doing also. And I love this new plate chart. This new chart shows you how you can get plants from protein, iron, calcium. That's asked of me a lot when I'm out here in the public informing folks, and lots of opportunities for people to see and have resources for bringing more plants on their plates. So, taking also us back to 2018, ECOP, the convergence is I've done some work with Unchained TV. I just wanted to share that. I wear many different hats. I'm a volunteer with this amazing food outreach organization called Support and Feed, who Billie Eilish's mom and Phineas's Maggie Baird started. And it's a beautiful, check it out. If you have a chapter near you, you can get involved and do food outreach for people. I know we have our climate healers food outreaches for our food healers. And then also, this is another outreach organization called Vegans of LA that I've been involved with as well, taking you a little bit on the journey. And you might wonder out there, well, how did you find out about veganism, right? How did I learn? Well, my 13-year-old, who's now 24, came home and said she was going vegan. So you can imagine my world. I was feeding my husband and my son, plus my daughter and I, meals. I was very committed to having sit-down meals. And now all of a sudden, it's like, wait, I don't know if I want to be making all these different things. Let's figure this out together. Then I sat down and watched an incredible movie called Cowspiracy. Out there, if you can in the chat, tell us if you've seen Cowspiracy. Now, Cowspiracy is all about sustainability. And I had been moving in the spaces of the environmental sustainability community, right? I was part of the Heal the Bay, cleaning the beaches, organizing beach cleanups. I was part of the Let's Ban Plastic Straws across the world, and particularly here in the California where I live, right? I was also part of the Ban the Plastic Bags. So with all that information about how to help animals, I was still going and having sushi. Even though I was helping animals of the sea in one way, I was still out there consuming animals and didn't realize. So, as many of us know already, so much of this information is hidden from us. It's not out in the public. So I made it my personal mission to see how I could get the information out as far and wide as I possibly could. So that's where we're going to take you to Plant-Based in the Burbs, which is a cooking show. My partner and I, Sherry Cherie, partner in plants, we have cooking shows on Unchained TV. You can go over to YouTube as well. And we do some fun things on Instagram, and we're exploring other options. But we bring on different people on our Instagram live show who are doing great things so that people can see. And if they resonate with the message, maybe they'll go and look a little further. So I'm about getting the message out as far and wide, right? Okay. That brings me to composting. You're like, what does composting have to do with veganism? Well, it's helping the planet. And to me, it's an inroad. I'm always looking for ways to bring up how do people get more plants on their plate, right? So I'm in conversations with people who are in the composting world, and I'm bringing forth information about veganism and plant-based lifestyle. Okay, so watch this. Those of you, maybe you're already composting. What that means, basically for the regular household, anyone can do this, is taking your food scraps out of the landfill, out of the trash, and putting it into a system that could make nutritious soil a resource. Okay? Simply put. So, for instance, we don't actually add our pits to our personal compost in the back because they're very challenging to break down. But in the state of California, it's a law that we do need to take our food scraps out of the trash. So this is just one example, but you could fill this up. And I'm not going to tell you where to go with it. You can DM me, but you can look around locally in your area and see where you could put your food scraps. Maybe you already have a system set up. Maybe you have a place in your backyard that you could bury. Maybe you could put this into a plastic bag and freeze it and then take it over to a sanctuary or a place where you could compost, put it into a larger system. So I'm going to let you figure that out, but taking the food scraps out of the trash, why do we need to do that? You've heard of methane, right? You've heard of stinky trash, stinky gas. Guess what? That's what happens when you put your food scraps into the trash, which we've all gotten kind of accustomed to, right? And the trash is going to be taken away somewhere, magical fairyland, and be taken care of. Well, no. The methane is the smelly gas that comes off. So my trash don't stink. I don't know about you, but you can also get a fancy little compost situation. And let me tell you, I know many of you already know this, but coffee grounds going in there, banana peels, tea bags, not the wrappers. Um, you know, all kinds of food scrap, meaning the tops of your carrots and things like that. Okay. How many of you are growing anything at home? Maybe you don't have space. Okay. Maybe you don't have a green thumb. Maybe you could put something in your windowsill like basil. How about one of these plants? Now it's going on 2 years. It's doing great. Oh my goodness. What about taking the bottoms of your green onions and putting it in a jar? See how it's already starting to root? And then now I'm growing green onions. Now I could put this in a pot and grow more, but I kind of like it simplified in my windowsill. Okay, now check this out. Here's another one. Cilantro I'm growing. I took some of the cilantro, I put it in a jar, and here you go. Okay, so that's one way I'm being sustainable. Let's figure out ways you can be more sustainable as well. Now, I'm trying for the first time sprouting some sunflowers. Now, I teach children how to grow a few things and to compost, right? So we're sprouting the sunflower seeds that are then going to be put into the big barrels to grow sunflowers. So this is already starting to happen. I started to munch on them though, because I love, my favorite sprouts are sunflowers. If you want to learn about sprouting, go for it. There are tons of people who are giving lots of lessons on how to sprout. I'm not your girl, but you can find it. You can find it. Okay, let's talk about what happens when you go into your produce drawer in your refrigerator, okay? Those of you, or cooler box, whatever you want to call it, and something's looking a little wilted or sad, okay? Or you go to your fruit plate. All right, so let's talk about that. Oh my gosh, I have a little on there, okay? Instead of putting this even in compost, I'm going to cut her in half. See if I can repurpose and use that lemon, the half of it, as a resource, either putting it in water. I clean my sink with the lemon, get a nice scent, lemony scent, right? So instead of just wasting it, see how you can actually work with something. Okay, I got some mangoes here. These are going to be fine. I may not eat that just as is because it's getting a little wrinkly, but what I'm going to do is cut it up and freeze it and put it in a smoothie later. This one's looking good, but some people would throw this away. They would say, that's too wrinkly. No, thank you. Delicious and juicy on the inside. If it has a funky flavor, definitely put it in your food scrap bin. But okay, let's talk about something like this. She'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to stay so far away from that. Well, maybe this one, but I'm going to explore and see if there isn't some of that tomato I can work with, right? Now, I might not put it on my salad, but I'll put it in my tomato sauce, right? It's a little squishy. That's okay. We got to stop thinking that food is bad and rotten and see how we can work with it. That's what I say. Now, I see some of you hearting me out here. The same thing with this wrinkly one. I mean, this would not be sold at the store. And by the way, 80 billion, 80 billion pounds of food is wasted every single year in America alone. That's a stat. That's a lot of waste, 80 billion pounds. So if we can figure out how to work with things, now that goes into the landfill. Here's what I'm saying though. We can perhaps repurpose and not necessarily compost. What can we do with what we've got? This one, again, would not be sold on the shelves. It's got a little wrinkly to it, right? And I'm going to tell you about this cutie. I was doing some work with Support and Feed, some food outreach, and we were not giving these away. But I pulled it out and thought, what could I do with this? This was going to go into the compost. And I grabbed it and I thought, I'm going to work with this. I'm going to freeze with onions so then they're ready to go when I'm ready to cook them up and make it like a yummy stir fry. Okay, now spinach tends to be some of the worst little offenders for getting wrinkly and green and weird. So instead of throwing out the entire bag, which this only took me about 5 minutes, I went through because the bag was looking wilty and gross, like toxic. And I found this, plus I found more that I put into my delicious green smoothie. And I'm going to give a shout out to the green smoothie. This smoothie was developed by Dr. Brooke Goldner. I don't know if you know who she is. Maybe you do. Goodbye Lupus. Check her out. And the Plant-Based Treaty got on board with her protocol. Anita Krines, who created the Animal Safe movement and the Plant-Based Treaty as a campaign out of the Animal Safe movement. She went on the green smoothie, felt better than ever. And so we encouraged people to be on the challenge for 90 days. And I'm still going, or 30 days, I'm still going. And I think it started in January, if I'm not mistaken. I lost track. But, oh no, it was April. It was April. But I love this. Let me tell you what's inside. Okay. And you can also look this up. I put spinach, you put greens, water, greens. I also put kale in here. And then some pineapple, some mango, a banana, chia seeds. That's it. And I've got a healthy, delicious, nutritious. Please look up Dr. Brooke Goldner to find out more information. We also have info for her on the plantbasedtreaty.org website, okay, which we're going to look into. So let me just take a little sip. It's hyper nutritious. Okay, now we're talking about what we're growing. So we're growing some tomatoes. I wanted to show you how cute are those. They're kind of the easiest to grow. Now these cucumbers got a little, what do you call it on the outside? Like a little a little bit slimy. So I'm going to work with these and see what I can do. I might have to put them straight into the compost, sadly. So sometimes if things come in the bags that they're in from the market, which I try not to use any plastic, I really do. Sometimes though, family members, whatever, buy things, but you kind of need to take them out of that and put them into another source that can contain them and keep them fresh, keep your items fresh. So we are using this. We are. There are sometimes we do, and we wash them. We wash the berries. Okay, just going to show you really quickly. Then we put a paper towel down. Okay, and I'll go ahead and compost all of this afterwards, except for this will be recycled. And then we wash them and then set them in there, and they last a lot longer. So there was also some raspberries in there too, but these haven't been washed. I got this at the farmer's market last week. Look how big that blueberry is. Oh my gosh, that is farmer's market quality, right? Straight from a farm. Look at that. Can you see that? You can't get those at the general market. I really don't think you can. All right, let's take a look at our timing. If you have questions, you're going to put them into the chat. And oh, yeah, so we're going to talk about how to store things and how to go about that. All right. So, woo, come on over. All right, so we have these are great storage bags. I love them. I also will sometimes put a brown paper towel in there because again, I can compost the brown. The white is dyed, so you want to go with the browns on the napkins and the paper towels. Those are the ones you can compost. You can't compost the white. Okay, so I'll use one of these and put it in. All right. I also have, which you can get online somewhere, or maybe you have a little shop near you. And this is like a reusable Ziploc bag. So this is fantastic for traveling, going on an airplane, having some snacks. It's great. Several of those. And then this is really great. Non-beeswax bees wrap. It's a vegan plant-based food wrap that you put on the outside of a bowl or something. I also have these cute little covers that are very like 1960s that somebody got for me. That's like you just put on and then you can travel with it and go to potlucks and things like that with these cute little covers. So there's that instead of saran wrap or even foil, right? Let's get creative. Okay, now I'm sure you have one of these, but just in case you don't, y'all, please get a reusable straw. Stop using, stop sucking, and get a reusable straw. You can do it. And then carry with you some reusables. They don't have to be bamboo. You can, however your system is, get a system going so that when you leave the house, you're sustainable because you say so. Why not? It's better for the planet. It's better for you. It's better for the animals. Because look, that plastic is going into the sea. It's going onto the beaches, and the birds are grabbing these plastic pieces and they're eating them, and it's digesting. It's coming into their system. It's not digesting. And let's take care of our planet, our beautiful Mother Earth. We only have one. So Mother Earth, and we're creating a planet B, right? All right, so carry that with you. Bring that with you, please. And what else do I want to share with you over here? Oh, yeah. So sometimes you buy something and it comes in a jar, and maybe you want to get something bulk. So I got my bulk chia seeds. I also have lentils in jars too. And I have my bulk hemp seeds, and I'm saving the jars and I can reuse them, and I keep these in my refrigerator, right? So reuse your jars. That's so obvious, right? The other thing I do is I carry one of these. I have one in my car because inevitably I'm going to go to an event or I'm going to go someplace and they're going to serve me water. Maybe there's water or a drink. I have my own. And the other thing is I can just bring it home and wash it rather than them having to worry about it. But a lot of times, I mean, I'm surprised people are still using plastics. They really are. And oh, another note, which I don't always remember, but please bring your own set of quote unquote Tupperware, right? You can get the glass Tupperware so that if you have leftovers, you're putting them in them and bringing it home. I know people who have cooler bags in their car at all times that they can put things in. So that's really next level. All right. And then finally over here, I want to say that if you can find some kind of sustainable flour These are sustainable flowers I bought from the farmers market, supporting the farmers. And they told me that they like repurpose and redo and compost and do all kinds of things. I usually don't buy flowers because I feel like, aren't we kind of putting those onto the, I don't know, but there's also the idea of planting more natives, which is important because the natives we have a ton of monarch butterflies right now flying around. And that's because a lot of people consciously planted native plants here in California. So we're seeing life come back. We're seeing nature being nurtured into existence again. The things that we've kicked out, we get to own back, bring back in, invite back in, allow for, move out of the way for, right? That's what we're doing here. We're creating a new planet that we can all thrive on, not one that we're extrapolating and taking and dominating, right? We're creating an environment where things can thrive and joy can be reproduced, right? So that's what we're about here with this Climate Healers Convergence. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Let me know if there's anything that I need to do differently, but I'm pretty sure I can share. So just one moment while I go to share screen. Let's see. I might need some support from you, Rebecca. Let's see.
I'm
Um,
here.
is there a button where I share?
The
Share.
bottom green.
Okay, I think I did it. Did that work?
No,
Oh,
not
wait,
yet.
here we go. Boom. How's that?
It is there and it looks great.
Okay, so I'm going to take you into the plant-based treaty portal, the plantbasedtreaty.org, where you can go and really explore. So a couple of things. First of all, I want to invite you in because there's so much here, but also we are inviting people to participate with us. We are inviting people to get active with us. Whatever city, state, village, we have campaigners around the world. Okay? Uganda, Edinburgh, Scotland, France, Italy. Um, Let me just take you down through this portal, okay? Over 244 others have signed the plant-based treaty. So I'm going to go through what happens once you sign, okay? So essentially, you can endorse as an individual, an organization, a business, and a city. What? Okay, now when we go down here, look at the numbers are just moving. I love that. 43 cities around the world have endorsed the plant-based treaty. 244,000 and counting individual endorsements, 1,685, nearly 2,000 organizations, and almost 2,700 businesses. Now, what does this mean? Let's go through this. Let me just do one thing. Boom. So, what is the plant-based tree? We are urging individuals, groups, and businesses and cities to endorse this call to action to put pressure on national governments to negotiate an international plant-based treaty as a companion to the Paris Agreement, okay? Modeled after the fossil fuel agreement. This treaty would put food systems at the heart of combating the climate crisis, aiming to halt the widespread degradation of critical ecosystems caused by animal agriculture, to promote a shift to more healthy, sustainable, plant-based diets, and to actively reverse damage done to planetary functions, ecosystems, services, and biodiversity, right? Core principles: redirect, relinquish, restore. I'm going to let you go through all of this. There's the green smoothie and the challenge. So we talked about the greens, the flaxseed or chia seeds, water, banana, mango, pineapple. Just takes 5 minutes. Why do we need a plant-based treaty? Fossil fuels in animal agriculture are the driving force behind runaway global warming, as well as extensive biodiversity loss, right? Many of you already know this: large-scale deforestation, species extinction, water depletion, soil degradation, and ocean dead zones. Some people who come on here have no idea. So this is, the basic information that many of us already know, but this is an opportunity for people to really kind of get into the tent, right? Addressing fossil fuels alone isn't enough. We've been screaming this since 2018, right? with Greta Thunberg and the whole team. It's like, wait, we gotta bring in animal agriculture. Dr. Rao's white paper, right? I mean, let's go. So Jane's movie, Countdown to Year Zero. You know what I'm talking about. Um, this is where the plant-based treaty comes in. The three main greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxygen, are devastating high levels and rapidly accelerating. Okay, so you can go through all of this. I'm going to take you back up to the top because I want you to see how you can get engaged in this conversation. Now, we pitch ourselves. I go into city councils and meet with council members and others and talk about how we invite them to endorse our treaty. Okay, that's one thing we do. And we say, you as a city have greenhouse gas goals. You have goals, sustainability goals. Let's talk about your greenhouse gas emissions goals, how you're committed to lowering them, because in this, and let's just say I'm gonna stand that every city is on board with needing, especially here in the United States, but recognizing and realizing that we got to do something. Okay. Now, not everybody's taking action or willing. And that's why we have all these, COP this and all these structured conversations to talk about, how they're going to be making changes. Well, we got to make the change. We got to get in there. And we also need to inspire the change. Okay. I mean, it's a possibility, right? I'm inviting you in. Now, let's say you're like, what does that even mean? You can click here. You can come on to what is called a welcome call. Welcome you in to learn more. Okay, sign here. Let's say you're in a city that there is a chapter already active, like in Los Angeles. I'm in the San Fernando Valley, so I'm activating out here. I also go into Los Angeles and we do a lot of work with restaurant partners and organizations, and we're being invited to be on panels about sustainability. We're at the table with people, and this is happening around the world. Plant-based treaty was at the Bonn conference recently at the United Nations, has been there alongside Silesh at these COPs years ago, right? And we're continuing to arrive there, show up, and ask for meetings with people to talk about this, to put the food system into and animal agriculture into the conversation forefront and explain and share and encourage and inspire. So when you endorse the treaty and you encourage others to endorse the treaty, it's a buy-in, a bottom-up pressure campaign for governments to make these changes. That's the idea here. And things are changing. I will tell you that. So the other thing is, I want to just mention a couple of our campaigns, okay? We have a campaign called the Hundreds Cafes campaign. Now, I'm just going to touch on these, but in the welcome call, we go a little bit more into it. Imagine walking down the street and seeing plant-based stickers in storefronts everywhere you go that has plant-based options, okay? So what we do, I don't know if you, I'll show you later, but we have window clings that we can give for folks to go in and talk to people. This is part of the campaign. So there's the Hundreds Cafes campaign, where we either encourage the restaurant to drop their surcharge on plant-based milks, add plant-based milks, right? Add more plant-based options, vegan items on their menus, right? And acknowledge them for what they've already done. Because many restaurants here in the United States, I'm speaking where I live, do have plant-based options on their menu. Some restaurants, not vegan restaurants, actually call it a vegan item. They actually use the word vegan. So let's acknowledge them for this. Hey, would you be willing to put this window cling up? We want to acknowledge you for the work you're doing. That way, other people who are out, walking by can see that you have options, that you have something that they will want. And it's a more inclusive conversation, right? Because if you don't have plant-based milk, if you don't have a plant-based option, you're excluding a large portion of the population. And when it comes to milks, which we're working with Better Food Foundation on oat milk by default, is that you're actually not in, you're exclusive. By many people, a large portion of the population is allergic, right? And then there's the folks who are of, that are allergic, and it's like detrimental for them. So there's those pieces, right? You got to include others. So we talk about that as well. Now, let me just take this up here. Cool, cool, cool. And I hope you're asking questions in the chat, or you're at least thinking about how, The other thing we do, okay, so for city campaigns, I just want to go over that really quickly because I think it's pretty awesome what we're doing with cities. And then you can get involved. So let me just talk about what we're doing here in our city, right? We go to public events and we have a table and we share the information, and we also collect endorsements on the spot. Now they can pull up their phone, sign in. That's great. Wonderful. And I'm also having people sign so I can take those papers when I go in and have meetings with council members and talk to them about how these folks at this event in your city said yes. Excuse me, that they want more plant-based options in their city, that they want to see more changes happening for their sustainability goals of their cities. Okay. All right, let's go back over here because there's some cool things that you can do. You can explore in here. You can see our safe and just report. You can also see who's endorsed, what cities, and general inquiries, media, etc. And then you can also, in the campaign hub, now this is pretty cool. Let me go back here for a second. So city campaigns. Let's say you are living in Argentina. I'm just going to click on Argentina, okay? Wherever you're living, click and look. Okay, it's in Spanish, so I can't read this. But you can sign up. You can also, there's a way in which you can click and send an immediate letter to your council members, to the folks who are in power of whatever city. The thing that happened in Edinburgh is someone went on, sent it to them, and they endorsed the treaty right off the bat. It wasn't a whole lot of work. So some of this is just folks they put your zip code in and it pulls out and gives you a list of who, and you can send it directly through. So I think that's pretty cool. You can get active as soon as you want. Okay, so I'm kind of popping around here, but you can just go and explore and see, but also come to a welcome call, because on the welcome call, you will definitely experience straight up, heads on, the opportunity that you get to get active right then. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Did that work? I think I'm stopped sharing, right, Rebecca? I
No,
think you just see
let me
me.
help.
Do you just see me?
Yes, I can see you, but the screen is there. It is. It's good.
Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, so let me show you some fun things. We also, with our public campaign, we have some great graphics. A gentleman out of Portugal created these beautiful graphics, and he is just so talented. And we, hand these out to people. And they love it. It's very eye-catching for them to see these, and they get touched and moved and inspired to learn more. Okay, so we have that. We also have these cool cards, which talk about plant-powered protein and calcium. So these are available for folks. This is something we put together in the city of West Hollywood. We put together a food policy day, and we had over 400 people come and attend and eat plant-based food and participate in a conversation for how we can make changes. The mayor of West Hollywood came, spoke on stage. We had other amazing, powerful people. We had 3 different panels going. But this is also really great. How much does your food cost the earth, right? Coming from a sustainable perspective. People don't realize when you're eating plant-based, you're using 75 to 95% less water, 93 to 95 less land, and 87 to 90% fewer emissions. So informationals are very important. You know how we talked about plant-based milk by default? Yeah. So we're working with the Better Food Foundation. We created this for the Hollywood Climate Summit, or they did. And I'm trying to get the best. Yep, there we go. And, oat milk is 85% lower in greenhouse gas emissions than dairy milk. So that's something that we show people. We also have these, and we're working with them to change out. And look at this. This is who dropped the surcharge on plant milk. There's plenty of folks that haven't, but you can see here Dunkin' Donuts, Panera, and some of these other places in Starbucks, Pete's. If maybe you don't go to any of those places, but some people do. So that's good, especially the general population. When you tell them that they drop the surcharge and they can get plant milk and it's a better greenhouse gas emission solution, right? It's better for the planet. You can encourage people to get those plant milks instead of getting cow's milk, right? All right, so we showed these. Oh, I want to show you the window clings because these go up in our windows. We have vegan options. We endorse the plant-based treaty. We have plant-based milks available, and we also have, plant-based options, and there's others as well. Another thing that we do here in Los Angeles and all over the world is we find restaurant partners that want to collaborate with us. So one of the things recently with the horrible fires throughout Los Angeles, we went into Pasadena, across from the Pasadena Civics Auditorium. They had we were doing plant-based meals for folks. We found out who needed them. We spread the word and put out incredible plant-based foods for people. And we got some partners helping with that. So this is a great restaurant out there. They have an incredible guide. It's like pages and pages, really cool. And they featured plant-based treaty right there. Wow. And even that, 230,000, this came out, months ago, and so much is happening. Really exciting. Oh my gosh. And one of our main campaigners who started here in Los Angeles, now in Pittsburgh, her daughter went to school, she's 6 years old, and came home with a very sad coloring book that came out from the dairy industry. And so her mother, Ellen Dent, worked with Switch for Good, as well as wellness content contributor, Food in a Flash, and the Plant-Based Treaty, and created this coloring book. This just came out. It is so cute. And this character here is inspired by Aria, her daughter. So, and they all have their Switch for Good, power parts on their, and they have capes, and it's just so cute. And they even have like activities in the back. So we're looking actually for some support to give these away. So if you know anyone who would want to donate to make this happen, to get the copies made, and then we can give them out, we'd really appreciate it. So you can talk to me about it, and I can put us in touch to make it happen, because I personally want to make sure these get out to all the kids at the kids that I teach. And I don't know, I love a word search and it's just so fun. But yeah, so this is, I don't know any other, I think PETA has one too, but come on now, this is our new one too. So it's exciting. So there you have it. Plant-Based Treaty. Now, I talked about the welcome call. You can come on the welcome call. They're Friday mornings. Let me tell you that. Friday mornings at 7 a.m. or 11 a.m. Pacific. Okay, so for those of you in other parts of the country, you can join at your time zone. Those are the time zones and times that are available. Okay, so 7 a.m. and 11 Pacific. So like I said, we have this out. You can QR code it. I don't know if you can QR code that right now, but then we also have the signed sheets. Look at this. We have so many locally that have signed. We go to college campuses. We go to the local cities and have concerts in the park. We're going to farmers markets now. And we're essentially saying, hey, we'd like to give out public information. We're a public information campaign. So that's one of the aspects by which we are activating.
There is a place where all life thrives, where every creature is respected, compassionately saving lives, and no one is rejected. Our world of peace and harmony, we call this planet. There's a place where all life thrives. This place we know is upside down, a chaos of extremes. In unity we turn it around and live the life of dreams. A world of peace and harmony, we call this planet B. We know upside down. A chaos of extremes. In unity we turn it around and live the life of dreams. Oh, a world of peace and harmony. We call this planet B. This place we know is upside down. A chaos of extremes. In unity we turn it around and live the life of dreams. A world of peace and harmony. We call this planet B. We call this planet B. Call this planet B. There is a place where all life thrives, where every creature is respected, compassionately saving lives, and no one is rejected. Our world of peace and harmony, we call this planet B. This place we know is upside down, a chaos of extremes. In unity we turn it around and live the life of dreams. A world of peace and harmony. We call this planet B. This place we know is upside down, a chaos of extremes. In unity we turn it around and live the life of dreams. Oh, a world of peace and harmony. We call this planet B. This place we know is upside down, a chaos of extremes. In unity we turn it around and live the life of dreams. A world of peace and harmony. We call this planet B.
Honey, I'm on.
There is a place where all life thrives, where every creature is respected, compassionately saving lives, and no one is rejected. Our world of peace and harmony, we call this planet B. This place we know is upside down, a chaos of extremes. In unity we turn it around and live the life of dreams. A world of peace and harmony. We call this planet B. This place we know is upside down.